Let's talk about the business behind the business. In this video, I'm going to explore the different illegal money-making schemes that the mobsters on The Sopranos use.
Could be as good as garbage. Hey, garbage is our bread and butter. Was.
Garbage. The famous waste management industry of which Tony Soprano is a high-ranking and notable figure in North Jersey. We get our first look at the garbage business at the very start, with this issue between Barone Sanitation and Kolar Sanitation, another company that's not okay with business as usual and submits their own bid to do the city garbage pickup.
Well, the site manager wants to renew his contract with Dick with this Kolar Sanitation. These Polacks, they'll haul paper, plastic, and the aluminum for $7,000 a month, less than Dick.
So they pay us 40 times a month for stealing a stop.
That's the thing, they won't. Oh.
So this bid issue gets settled pretty quickly, but that isn't the last we hear about garbage, waste management, or dumping. We also have Richie and Junior selling coke along the garbage routes in season 2, which infuriates Tony because it's a major liability and risks putting the garbage industry back under the radar of law enforcement. And then there's the very toxic waste at the end of the series, the asbestos.
Nobody's been hiding nothing. I had the same dumping deal with what's his name, the operations manager since I've been there at Barone Sanitation.
You're not there no more. I am. Or cement, or everything.
Is there a problem?
Enough with this work stoppage.
This is a union safety official, and he stays until the union deems this workplace is free of hazard.
I have the money.
You do?
In a no-show job, the person receiving the paycheck doesn't need to show up at all, not even from 10:30 to 3. Perhaps he's a consultant like Tony. With a no-work job, you just need to show up and sit in a lawn chair.
If I were a carpenter and you were a douchebag.
What are you talking about? They were in the series in '98.
Fiber optic cable, high-speed internet access.
So Davey Scatino owes Richie Aprile $8,000, and he owes Tony $45,000, but he doesn't have any money. So what are they going to do? There's Ramsey Sports and Outdoors. They'll get it this way. Basically, until it's all busted out and bankrupt.
A sporting goods store charges airline tickets in bulk, picnic coolers, Ramlosa water. When's one of these vendors going to realize I'm never going to pay him and call the cops?
Unless you're ready to pay us the principal you owe us.
कार्ड देखा इसके 1000 घंटों का मैं काम
So Telecommunications once again fails to disappoint?
You find a front man who can get a line of credit. You buy a couple of million units of calling time from a carrier. You sell thousands of these cards to the greedy pricks, cards at a cut rate. But you bought the bulk time on credit, remember? The carrier gets stiffed. He cuts off the service to the cardholders, but you already sold all your cards.
It often involves targeting vulnerable victims, people who don't have easy access to regular phone services.
Hey, ये कार के कितने पैसे दे रहा है?
And then we have housing fraud in various forms, like phony housing appraisals.
Vic, the appraiser. Make this guy understand that he's going to be working for us on these shithole houses we bought in Jersey.
Then we have things like the HUD scam.
We're going to give him $500,000 of our money, have him grab up these 4 houses on Garside Street. That appraiser will play ball. What you do, Maurice, is you take the phony appraisals to HUD. Tell him your urban housing league wants to buy up these shitholes, convert them into low-cost housing for working families.
Jeff, you take it to the bank. They cut a check, and we work it up nice.
Unforeseen construction delays and repeated vandalism forced the project into dissolution.
The projects end up not coming through and working out, but the money stays.
Manager Dale. Welcome to the neighborhood.
The mafia offers businesses protection from various threats, whether that's protection from other criminals, property damage. In exchange, the business owners must regularly pay a fee, which is essentially a form of extortion. If they don't pay, they might face consequences such as damage to their property, physical harm, or other forms of intimidation.
Your weekly dues to us will give you all the supplemental safety net you'll ever need.
I can't authorize anything like that. It'd have to go through corporate in Seattle.
And this is part of how the mafia exerts control over neighborhoods and businesses, often creating an atmosphere of fear and coercion where people just pay up because what other option do they really have?
We merchants prefer to deal on a personal, one-on-one basis.
I don't have any discretionary funds. It's gotta go through corporate.
How do you think corporate would feel if, for the sake of argument, someone threw a brick through your window?
They've got like 10,000 stores in North America. I don't think they feel anything.
Yeah, American Forestry, 19 and a half, up 3/8, very sound company.
A scam like the Webistics stock pump and dump typically follows a series of steps designed to artificially inflate a stock's price before quickly selling off shares, leaving other investors with worthless stock. The pump is the artificial inflation of the stock price, spreading false or exaggerated claims about a company, groundbreaking technology, significant business deals, you name it. And then, as the stock price inflates, this is when the dump happens.
They got a root from the Amazon cures glaucoma. It's all fucking bullshit, but I got a brochure. Anyway, what difference does it make? You come in for 5-10 grand on this drug company. By the time we dump the piece of shit, you'll be in six-figure territory. Oh, tonight, puss, I got something hard edge.
What?
Pokemon cards. Me and Tommy Mac are taking down a truckload.
Mafia seeks to control trucking companies or influence trucking routes as a way to exploit businesses. By having a hand in the transportation of goods, they can demand kickbacks or cuts, force trucking companies to use their services, or control how goods are moved. Sometimes it's hijacking shipments.
Anybody around here love the word Jimmy Choo shoes?
No way.
I'm gonna take my lunch, okay?
Yeah, whatever, come on. Oh my God.
How we do?
Not finished counting, but it's up there. At least 80 boxes of ZDs after expenses.
With these executive games, like the one in the Happy Wanderer, they made 80 boxes of ZD after expenses. 80 grand, not bad. But it's not just the executive games. There are also the other poker games and other bets that they sure can make a hell of a lot of interest on, like with Alex Mahaffey, for example.
He has his company start paying out phony claims to fake clinics we set up. Or he pays Hesh the 250 grand he owes him, which we know he cannot do.
Of course, there are also things like stolen airline tickets, which almost got Tony in a lot of trouble when he thought that Livia was going to testify against him for the government and help them build their RICO case against Tony from those stolen airline tickets. In season 6, Benny Fazio thinks it's a good idea to start a credit card scam at Vesuvio. Basically, taking a lot of customers' credit card numbers and selling them to these guys.
I can put the credit card numbers on actual plastic for an extra 5 bills.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear from you as always.